Your cat drops a toy mouse at your feet, sits back, and stares at you. Maybe it's 6 a.m. Maybe you just got home from work. Maybe you're in the middle of making dinner. The toy lands with that soft thud, and your cat's eyes are locked on yours with an intensity that feels like it means something. Most people land on one of two explanations. Your cat is either bringing you a gift because they love you, or they want you to throw it so they can play fetch. Both of these explanations contain fragments of truth. Neither is what's actually happening. What's really going on involves a specific sequence of neurological events, a hunting behavior that has been redirected but never evolved away, and a form of social communication that researchers have only recently begun to decode. The behavior looks simple. The science behind it is not. Number 1. The prey presentation sequence. In 2019, researchers at the University of Georgia's KittyCams project analyzed footage from over 2,000 hours of cats wearing video cameras, documenting what they did when humans weren't watching. They found that 44% of cats regularly caught prey, and of those, 23% brought their kills back to a specific location near human living spaces. But here's what matters. The cats that brought toys to their owners displayed the exact same behavioral sequence as the cats that brought dead animals. The approach, the placement, the posture, the waiting. It's not a metaphor. It's the same neurological pathway. Dr. Mikel Delgado, a cat behavior expert who contributed to a 2021 study on feline play behavior, explained that when a cat brings you a toy, they are completing what's called the prey presentation sequence. This sequence has 5 distinct phases: the hunt, the capture, the kill bite, the consumption decision, and the presentation. With toys, your cat executes the first 3 phases during solo play. The toy gets stalked, pounced on, bitten, but then something shifts. Instead of the consumption phase, which would mean abandoning or continuing to bat at the toy alone, your cat picks it up and brings it to you. That transition from consumption to presentation is not random. It happens because you represent something specific in your cat's cognitive map, a site of safety and social importance. From your cat's neurological perspective, you are not another cat. You're something closer to what researchers call a secure base, a term borrowed from attachment theory. Your presence changes the meaning of the toy from prey object to social object. Number 2. The teaching hypothesis and its limits. For years, the dominant explanation was that cats bring toys or dead animals to teach their owners to hunt. This made intuitive sense because mother cats do bring disabled prey to their kittens as part of weaning, a behavior documented extensively in a 1980 study by Paul Lehausen, observing feral cat colonies in Germany. The kittens would practice killing the still-moving prey, learning the neck bite that severs the spinal cord. But a 2017 study by researchers at the University of Lincoln tested whether cats displayed teaching behavior toward humans and found something unexpected. They observed 100 cats over 6 months, tracking prey presentation events and measuring whether the cats showed corrective behavior when humans failed to hunt properly. They found 0 instances of corrective teaching behavior. The cats did not demonstrate hunting techniques. They did not bring increasingly difficult prey. They showed no frustration or pedagogical adjustment when the human ignored the gift or threw the toy wrong. What they did show was a 73% increase in the behavior when the human was present versus absent, and an 89% preference for presenting toys in rooms where the human spent the most time. This is not teaching. This is something else. The cats were not trying to improve their owner's skills. They were performing a behavior that required an audience. Number 3. The social display and approval loop. A 2020 study by Dr. Kristen Vitale at Oregon State University examined the neurochemical changes in cats during different types of human interaction. Using behavioral observation and cortisol measurement, they found that cats experienced a measurable decrease in stress hormones when they successfully completed a behavior and received human attention immediately afterward. The sample size was 37 cats, tested over 8 weeks, and the results were consistent. When a cat brought a toy and the human responded with any form of attention, verbal acknowledgement, touch, or even eye contact, the cat's stress markers dropped within 90 seconds. But here's the critical detail. The drop happened whether the human praised the cat or simply looked at the toy. The content of the response mattered less than the fact of acknowledgement. Your cat is not seeking approval in the way a dog does. Dogs have been bred for 15,000 years to read human emotional feedback. Cats have not. What your cat is doing is confirming your presence and attention. The toy is not a gift in the emotional sense. It's a tool for initiating a specific kind of interaction. Dr. John Bradshaw, A biologist at the University of Bristol, who has spent 3 decades studying cat behavior, describes this as object-mediated social interaction. The toy becomes a bridge. Your cat has something they expended energy to catch or carry, and they are bringing it into your shared space. The act of presentation creates a moment where both of you are focused on the same object. In human developmental psychology, this is called joint attention, and it's considered a foundation of social bonding. Number 4. The midnight delivery and circadian hunting patterns. If your cat brings you toys at 3 a.m., there's a specific biological reason. A 2018 study published in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior tracked the activity patterns of 96 indoor cats using motion sensors over 3 months. Cats showed 2 primary activity peaks, one around dawn between 5 and 7 a.m., and another smaller peak between 2 and 4 a.m. These times correspond to the hunting patterns of their ancestors, the African wildcat, which hunted crepuscular prey, animals most active at twilight and pre-dawn. Your cat's brain is still running on this circadian rhythm. The urge to hunt spikes during these windows, whether there is actual prey available or not. When your cat is indoors with no access to live prey, that hunting drive redirects to toys. But the neurological sequence still needs completion. The cat hunts the toy, catches it, delivers the kill bite. And then the brain asks, what now? In the wild, a cat might cache the prey, hide it for later, or eat it immediately. Indoors, the cat brings it to you because you are the most significant environmental feature during that decision point. You're warm, you're large, you're consistently present in the same sleeping location. A 2016 study by researchers at the University of Tokyo found that cats create cognitive maps of their home environment that prioritize human locations over food locations. When presented with a choice in an experimental maze, 68% of cats navigated first to the chamber where the human scent was strongest, even when food was available in a different chamber. Your sleeping body is not just a landmark, it's a destination. Number 5. The vocalization pattern that accompanies the gift. Cats that bring toys often vocalize in a specific way, a chirping, trilling sound that's distinct from their standard meow. In 2015, Dr. Nicholas Nicastro analyzed over 200 recorded cat vocalizations and identified this particular sound as a solicitation trill, a variant of the sound mother cats use to call kittens. The frequency sits between 600 and 900 hertz, slightly higher than a normal meow, and it has a rising intonation at the end. What's significant is when cats use this sound, they use it almost exclusively when initiating interaction with humans, not with other cats. A 2021 follow-up study by Dr. Suzanne Schatz at Lund University in Sweden found that cats modified this trill based on human response patterns. Cats whose owners responded quickly to the sound used it more frequently. Cats whose owners ignored it either stopped using it or switched to louder, more urgent vocalizations. This is learned communication. Your cat has figured out that this specific sound, combined with the physical presentation of a toy, generates a predictable outcome. Your attention shifts to them. The toy is the visual component. The trill is the auditory component. Together, they form what researchers call a multimodal signal, a communication strategy that uses multiple sensory channels to increase the likelihood of a response. Your cat is not randomly meowing. They are deploying a targeted acoustic strategy they have refined through trial and error with you specifically. Number 6. What it means when your cat waits. After your cat drops the toy, they sit and stare. This waiting behavior is not passive. In 2019, researchers at Kyoto University studied what they called expectant gazing in cats, the prolonged eye contact cats make when anticipating a specific outcome. Using eye-tracking technology, they measured how long cats would maintain visual focus on a human after completing a behavior. The average was 8.3 seconds. But for cats that had brought a toy, the average jumped to 23.7 seconds. The cats were not just waiting, they were monitoring. Specifically, they were watching for movement cues that indicated the human had noticed the toy. When the human looked at the toy, 91% of cats shifted their gaze to follow the human's eye line, then looked back at the human's face. This is called gaze alternation, and it's the same behavior researchers use to test theory of mind in primates and toddlers. Your cat is checking whether you see what they see. They are creating a shared moment of focus. And here's what happens next, according to the study. If the human does not respond within 30 seconds, the cat either vocalizes, touches the toy with their paw to create movement, or walks away entirely. The waiting has a time limit. This is not unconditional devotion. This is a cat running a behavioral experiment with a defined window. They are testing whether the interaction they initiated will complete. If it does, if you acknowledge the toy or engage with them, their stress markers drop and the behavior gets reinforced. If it doesn't, the behavior may decrease over time, but the cat will try again, usually at a different time or with a different toy, adjusting variables until they find what works. What your cat is doing when they bring you their toy is not one thing. It's a layered behavior with evolutionary roots, neurological triggers, and learned social components. At the biological level, they are completing a hunting sequence that evolution has not removed despite thousands of years of domestication. At the cognitive level, they are initiating joint attention, creating a moment where you are both focused on the same object in the same space. At the social level, they are confirming your role as a secure base, a reliable feature in their environment. And at the learned behavioral level, they are executing a strategy that has previously resulted in your attention, which is itself a reward. The toy is not a gift. It's a catalyst. It's the thing that transforms ambient coexistence into active engagement. Your cat has brought you something they invested energy in capturing. Even if that capture was just batting a toy mouse across the floor, that object now sits between you, and your cat is waiting to see what you do with that offering. The science is clear. When you acknowledge the toy, when you look at it or pick it up, or even just say your cat's name, you are completing a social loop that your cat initiated. You are confirming that the interaction worked. And your cat, sitting there with their pupils slightly dilated, their tail upright, their body oriented towards you, is measuring that confirmation in real time. The next time a toy lands at your feet and those eyes lock on yours, you're not looking at a gift giver or a hunter or a pet that wants to play fetch. You're looking at an animal executing a complex, multi-phase behavior designed to pull you into their moment. Subscribe if you want more on what your cat is really doing, and comment below with when your cat brings you toys, because the time of day might tell you more than you think.